We've all experienced an unsettling feeling while home alone at night, quiet besides the noise of your TV and the occasional siren from a far-off town. But when you sit in silence at home without the hustle and bustle of the coffee machine, the laundry, meetings, you might start to hear the random creaks of the floorboards or sounds of the piping system in your walls. You lower the evening news on your TV to listen closer to the eerie sounds in your house. You hear the rocking chair upstairs ease back and forth. Did I leave the window open, you think to yourself? You cautiously go upstairs calling out hello, as if you're expecting someone to answer. The rocking chair is no longer rocking and the window is closed. You now notice the TV you muted downstairs is now playing. Hello? You yell out again. A cold chill runs down your spine, and you could have sworn the lights just flickered on and off. Are these all coincidences you are noticing because of your high awareness? Could this all be in your head? Or is there a ghost in your home and you aren't actually home alone? My name is Kayla, this is Xenu, and we are Cauldron Convos, baby. Hit it! Happy first day of spring, everyone! Nothing like a good old cold Pepsi. Haven't had one before. First time trying it on camera. Maybe I should make this a Pepsi review instead of the normal podcast.
How are we looking?
Surprisingly good.
I didn't think I would like it so much. Wow.
If you are new here, please consider subscribing to our channel because we post Cauldron Convos podcast every single week here on the spine-chilling true crime and paranormal topics, and we try to educate, entertain, and make you laugh. And here is Freddy. He says, hit that subscribe button! Hit it. Anyway, back to the video. In this podcast episode, we're going to be discussing the question, are ghosts real? But let's get into what are ghosts, in case you don't know, in case you've been living under a rock, or in case you know what ghosts are but want a little bit more detail. A ghost is the soul or spirit of a dead person or an animal that is believed to be able to appear to the living. Other terms associated with ghosts are apparitions, haunts, phantoms, poltergeists, spirits, and ghouls. There's also more, but these are my favorite.
Have you ever had Ghoul-Aid?
In a book, A Natural History of Ghosts, Roger Clark discusses 9 varieties of ghosts identified by Peter Underwood, who has studied ghosts for decades. Underwood's classification of ghosts include elementals, poltergeist, historical ghosts, mental imprint manifestations, death survival ghosts, apparitions, time slips, ghosts of the living, and haunted inanimate objects. So like dolls.
Annabelle.
Annabelle. She's just a ball. There's just balls that are haunted.
Like those Chinese good luck balls. You shake
Like
them,
the
they
ones
got
you
little
go like
bells.
Have you ever heard those?
No.
Or like what's the magic black ball?
A fushigi.
Magic 8 ball.
Oh.
That's what I meant.
I thought you were
Those
doing
could
the
definitely be
fushigi.
haunted.
If you really want to support the podcast, send me a fushigi to our P.O. box.
The belief in the existence of an afterlife, as well as manifestations of the spirits of the dead, is widespread, dating back to animism or ancestor worship in pre-literate cultures. Certain religious practices, funeral rites, exorcisms, and some practices of spiritualism and ritual magic are specifically designed to rest the spirits of the dead. And ghosts are believed to haunt particular locations, objects, or people they were associated in life. So, for example, there's Resurrection Mary, who's a ghost that goes around.
Ooh, that's scary. The south side of Chicago asking for rides.
So obviously the overwhelming consensus of science is that there is no proof that ghosts exist. Their existence is impossible to falsify, however, and ghost hunting has been classified as pseudoscience. Despite centuries of investigation, there is no scientific evidence that any location is inhabited by the spirits of the dead. So we're going to be going into all of this in more depth, but we just wanted to give that preface here that yes, okay, there's no proof, science has no proof that ghosts exist. However, there's no proof that they don't exist.
Yeah, bitch. If you're going to be a big macho man, say, oh, ghosts don't exist. Do you want to go at night by yourself in a graveyard in like a scary place or like an abandoned, like a sane asylum? No.
Here, have some more Pepsi.
No, I don't want any Pepsi. I don't like the sugar in it. I've had too much. Can you take away? You have. I'll drink my liquid.
Although there is no scientific evidence that ghosts are real, and there's no scientific evidence that ghosts are not real, though, there's a lot of people in the world that believe in ghosts. Surprisingly, whenever I talk to my friends, it seems like I'm the one that believes in the most. Like, everyone's like, oh, I don't believe in ghosts, I don't believe in ghosts. But as you said, it's like, okay, let's shut off the lights, play a Ouija board, and all of a sudden, no one wants to play.
Yeah.
People want to play beer pong instead. Okay, honey.
Let's play beer Ouija.
Beer Ouija. They spell it out with pong balls.
No, that's a good idea. I feel like that's something Barstool Sports would come up with.
You have like a frat ghost. There's definitely like ghosts that haunt frat houses or whatever. Not that I've ever been
I was
in a
gonna
frat.
make some
Actually, I don't think
jokes.
I've ever been in a frat house in my life.
Neither have I.
Wow. And knock on wood, I never will. So
At least I don't remember it.
don't invite me over. Okay, doesn't mean you're a bad person. Okay, they didn't
If
choose
you're
the
in
Greek life.
if you're
The
in Greek life,
chose them. Let's talk about the statistics of Americans' beliefs on ghosts. So, in a 2019 IPSOS poll, 46% of American respondents said they believe in ghosts. Wow, that's a lot, and that's like pretty recently. So nearly half in that survey said that they believed in ghosts. And Gallup surveyed people about ghosts in 2005, and 32% of respondents said that they believed in, quote, ghosts, or that spirits of dead people can come back in certain places and situations. When Gallup asked the same question in 1990, the result was just 25%. So it went from 25% in 1990 to 32% in 2005, showing that it's growing. People that believe in paranormal and supernatural.
I think there's a lot more ghosts in pop culture than there ever has been.
True. Researchers are now studying whether their rise may be tied in part to the rise over the last few decades of Americans claiming no religious preference. Thomas Moen, a sociologist at Bowling Green State University, stated, people are looking to other things or non-traditional things to answer life's big questions that don't necessarily include religion. He pointed out that atheists tend to report higher belief in the paranormal than religious folk. What's Bowling Green?
Bowling Green, Kentucky? Ow.
That hurt?
No.
A plastic eggshell hurt? Anyway.
The Easter Bunny laid it.
The Easter Bunny doesn't lay them.
Yes, the Easter Bunny. No, the Easter Bunny lays the eggs.
Alright,
A chick
well.
cannot lay eggs.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
It's a chick.
Unless it's a big booby.
A big-breasted chicken.
Unless it's a early or ew.
A bodacious-breasted
I don't
chicken.
need to sexualize.
At McDonald's.
I don't need to sexualize animals and be like
What?
the next Shane Dawson, like beasting, like with his cat. How he like pees on it, or no, he doesn't pee on it.
What are you talking about?
I feel like I took two Shane
Do
Dawson.
you pee on bodacious
I
chickens?
took two Shane Dawson cancellations and I accidentally meshed them. Because he pees in bottles next to his bed, but he also does something with cats. And I accidentally thought he peed on cats.
Oh.
All right, now moving on to some more statistics on ghosts. Because I think it's kind of interesting because people that are into research are like, oh, show me the research, show me the research. Okay, yeah, it doesn't prove that ghosts are real, but if nearly half of the population believes in ghosts, that's a little, you know...
It's compelling.
It's compelling. It helps a little bit, the argument. And 18% of adult Americans claim they've seen or been near a ghost, according to the 2009 Pew Research Center survey. 29% claim they have been touched by someone who died. Not touched. Not Shane Dawson touching his cat way. Just touched. Maybe touched emotionally.
No, I think like you feel like you've been physically touched or
don't think-
pushed
'cause
or
I feel
grabbed. Not like touched emotionally. Yeah, I've been touched by someone who's dead, my grandma.
Well, because like for ghosts, you're not always feeling like physically feeling them. Like I feel like I was emotionally touched by my deceased dog a few years ago.
No, they're
Through a
talking about
dream, through
physical
other
feeling.
things.
You're gonna be editing this, and you're gonna realize.
I know I think they're talking about physical feeling, but I think that doesn't really make sense because do you think that many people have been 29% have been physically touched by someone who is dead? Those people are the ones falling into caskets on purpose. Oh no!
Sue the funeral home.
Dead people. Is that like a thing? That's a thing. Oh, like Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh wait. Yeah,
What?
people that are into dead people. That's like a
Necrophilia.
yeah.
Don't-
29% of Americans are necrophiliacs. They
Oh,
just
ew! Stop! I'm
touched-
hungry.
They've been touched by the dead. Anyway, I'm hungry. You're hungry because of that? Ew, you sicko.
Yes. I hear that very loud and clear.
The statistic, actually? Oh my god, this makes everything worse. I forgot. This statistic, where I found that one about being touched by a ghost, was a funeral home's website. The funeral. Well, they have source. They have a source too, but they have good SEO. This funeral home, because they have a blog post called "Americans Believe in Ghosts." But why would they have that on their site? To persuade people to use them for their loved ones and spend a lot of money.
Funeral homes, man.
A recent survey of 2,000 people aged 21 and over found that 63% of respondents believe in the paranormal in some form. Why didn't they ask people under 21? Why didn't they ask 5-year-olds? Because they're the ones that see ghosts more. So that statistic would even be higher.
Dead people.
People share that the unexplained beings they believe exist are ghosts, 57%, visitors from other planets, 39%, and Bigfoot, 27%. So ghosts take the reign on, more than Bigfoot. Or aliens. More than aliens. People believe in ghosts more than aliens.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
A third of respondents, 35%, even said they felt an unexplained presence in their homes, prompting them to worry that they're being haunted by the paranormal. So that's also pretty promising here. Okay, but with all this being said, it's clear that a good percent of the population believes in the paranormal, and about half believe in ghosts. According to the Chapman University survey of American fears, about 9% of over 1,000 adults surveyed said that they feared ghosts. So we even got 1 in 10 people fearing them. They should have ran that survey in an abandoned house, at nighttime. Then that would have gone up. 9%? Really? Let's shut the lights off. Let's light some candles. Let's put the Ouija board out. Let's get Chucky the doll in here, or Annabelle, or whatever.
Yeah, I feel
Let's get Grandma's old something.
Let's smell Grandma's dress.
Because a majority of our audience is based in the United States, we wanted to specify and go into the United States, but now let's talk about other countries' beliefs on ghosts. It seems that beliefs in ghosts is even more widespread in much of Asia, where ghosts are characterized as neutral and can be appeased through rituals or angered if provoked, as opposed to our scarier depictions of ghosts in the West. According to Justin McDaniel, a professor of religious studies and director of the Penn Ghost Project at the University of Pennsylvania, he stated, "Ghosts in Asia can be asked for help in healing humans, winning the lottery, and protecting one while traveling or while pregnant," he says. Like American ghosts, they have an attachment to the human realm, which keeps them haunting and helping humans. So they are asking them in Asia to help them. In Taiwan, some people believe that the presence of wandering ghosts during Ghost Month can cause accidents to the living. At least one study has shown that people avoid risky behaviors during this time, specifically during Ghost Month, including those in bodies of water, reducing the number of deaths by drowning. Like in the West, McDaniel says, people in Asia have kept their belief in ghosts despite the rise of science, skepticism, secularism, and public education. In places like Japan, where secularism is very strong, the belief in ghosts is still high. Even hyper-modern and liberal Scandinavia has a high percentage of people believing in ghosts. So, it's all around the world, baby. If ghosts are not real, why do so many people believe in this? And why have so many people apparently experienced this phenomenon, whether it be touched by a dead person or whatever, or, just felt a presence or felt cold or whatever.
Smelled grandma.
Smelled grandma's dress. Well, according to Christopher French, a professor of psychology and head of the Animalistic Psychology Research Unit at Goldsmiths, University of London, he stated, "What we have is people trying to make sense of something that to them seems inexplicable. So you get the misinterpretation of noises or visual effects that do have normal explanation, but not one that people can think of. People assume that if they cannot explain something in natural terms, then it must be something paranormal." Well,
that's the truth.
What else would it be? I feel like
thanks, genius.
Yeah, thanks, professor. I didn't need a psychology degree for that one. I'm waiting until one of these people actually will watch our videos.
Yeah, we get a cease and desist from the past lives one after making all those bath jokes.
Oh yeah. So one example of this is our tendency to see faces in random images, which is a phenomenon called pareidolia. In a study conducted at the University of British Columbia, researchers Ayana Willard and Ada Norzanyan, shout out Armenian, and I didn't even say her name right, Norzanyan, found that participants with a higher tendency to anthropomorphize, meaning that those are more likely to assign human qualities to non-human things, were also more likely to have paranormal beliefs. Interesting. With that being said, all right, there's some psychologists, there's some studies that it's, it's people trying to make sense of noises they hear or weird things that they see. But I'm sure that there are people probably even watching this that are like, no, you can't tell me anything that was, just a coincidence or just something that was inexplicable. Like it was inexplicable, Like I'm sure there are people out there that have had like things fly off the walls.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Definitely. I don't know. I did run a poll on YouTube in the community area of my channel. Do you believe in ghosts? With the first option being definitely, I've had an experience. Second one, yes, but I've never seen, felt one. Third, they could be real, they could not be real. And lastly, they are not real. And 38% said that I've had an experience. So that 38% is a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
And on top of that, 23% said yes, but I've never seen / felt one. So we have over 60% either they've had an experience or they've never seen one, but they believe in it. 60%. That's a huge amount. And we had 208 votes.
With that being said, just going off of the population, how do you think the government views ghosts?
Yeah, well, that's interesting because we have the government, originally with UFOs, the government shut it down, right? They shut it down. They shut that shit down. But now we have them releasing. How many did they see this year or whatever?
So many. The
Hundreds,
UAP thing is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Just because the government right now might not necessarily believe in ghosts or run studies or reveals, photos or show military personnel that have talked to, I don't know. Just because that doesn't happen necessarily doesn't mean that they're not real, because aliens, there was a time when the government didn't really release anything on UFOs.
Yeah, true.
And so there might be a time in the future where the government will release photos of aliens, not just the UFOs.
Yeah.
Or photos of ghosts. The U.S. Department of Justice has a journal published, and the article begins by describing a missing person case in which the relatives asked the police investigator to meet with the psychic after the case had gone cold for police. After meeting with the psychic, which was approved in advance by the chief, the detectives actually eventually found their missing person where the psychic said that they would be. So a cold case now solved because of a psychic, and the author describes how the psychic, Annette Martin, works. Martin, along with her partner, a retired homicide detective, recently opened a psychic consult business after years of providing free psychic assistance quietly to police investigators.
Not to be the devil's advocate, but there's been a bunch of cases of psychics like being completely wrong in these cases.
I know, because I think a lot of people
pretend to be psychics.
A lot of people see cash. I'm assuming that the psychics find these by talking. They talk to spirits. And Martin claims that about 85% of cases come from the family members, although Martin will only work with police and will only provide psychic input to police, since the perpetrator could be a member of the victim's family. Dang. And it also points out that reliable psychics are not always easy to find. Police investigators are cautioned to check references and be aware that some psychics may be fraudulent or may be in business for the wrong reasons, such as fame. Many police agencies refuse to work with psychics at all and reprimand any officer who follows leads provided by psychics. Thus, while psychics may be helpful in solving cold cases, investigators should still rely on their investigative training in deciding which leads to follow.
That makes sense. I mean, that's just them hedging themselves. They're like, oh, we'll try it. But if it doesn't get anywhere, we're not going to really take responsibility.
Yeah. There are like these celebrity psychics that talk to spirits and whatnot, and then they're not real. So I want to play, like you said, devil's advocate. I want to show something that is that, so people aren't like, you're a liar, you're stupid. In 2004, psychic Sylvia Browne went on national television and told a woman, Amanda Berry's mother, that her daughter was dead. So this woman that went missing, she told her that her daughter was dead. So like, yeah, the mom got closure, right? But Berry turned up alive after 10 years in captivity. So the psychic Browne is facing calls to stop offering her services to victims' families and detectives. Obviously, they're like,
"Oh my God,
don't do this anymore." Like, this woman was found 10 years later. Like, if the psychic didn't say that, do you think she would be found sooner?
Maybe. I don't know what the circumstances of her being found, but
hypothetically, yeah. I mean, like, if I had a child that they were missing and I went to a psychic and they were like, I'm sorry, but she's passed, I think I would probably be a little bit less likely to be looking as hard versus if she was like, she's somewhere. then I'd be like, oh shit, if the psychic says, let me go look. I just recently posted a Cauldron Capsule video on the Boston Strangler, and a detective actually used a psychic for the Boston Strangler. So psychics have actually been used to, communicate with spirits to find things out about cases that the police can't or haven't yet.
You're screwed when they're talking to a psychic.
Whether or not it's real, yeah, I guess, there's some that aren't, some that may or may not be, who knows. But I think it is just interesting nonetheless that police have used psychics who communicate with spirits or ghosts or whatever to solve things in cold cases. I think that is interesting. Let's do ways to detect ghosts, okay? Like, we've all seen those TV shows that are like
Ghost Adventures.
I used to love those.
Me too. Did you watch Ghost Adventures?
I don't remember which one it was, but
with
my dad
Zach?
Went on like History Channel.
Yes, or Discovery Channel.
And they're always like them like in like night vision.
Well,
and
okay. Admittedly, I'd probably be acting like that in a basement of an insane asylum.
So a spirit box, also known as a ghost box, is an electronic device that is sometimes used in paranormal investigations to try to communicate with ghosts or spirits. It works by rapidly scanning through multiple radio frequencies, creating white noise or static, and then allowing any potential spirits or entities to manipulate the radio waves to create words or phrases. I think they even have like apps on your phone that you can
those
get.
are fake.
Those are fake? Okay, because I think I was going to download one.
Oh, please. No. Radio box or spirit boxes sound like the worst DJ. Like, you all have that friend that sits shotgun while you drive and they're just switching the channels, switching it. Hear one word on each station. But that's how the ghosts talk to you.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting how like it can manipulate the radio, and it's like the real radio, but it's like a conversation. I don't know how it works.
Okay, so paranormal investigators believe that any spirits or entities present may be able to use this white noise, as you said, to communicate by manipulating the radio waves to form coherent words or phrases. Okay, so that's why it always sounds like meet.
Yeah, but it's like hello.
Oh,
was
that's
killed.
So cool, actually. Critics of spirit boxes argue that any apparent communication may be the result of pareidolia, which is the human tendency to perceive meaningful patterns or shapes in random stimuli. That is a really interesting, device, I think. I kind of want one. Skeptics have pointed out that the use of these spirit boxes to communicate with spirits or entities may be considered unethical or disrespectful, as it assumes the existence of such entities without scientific evidence and may trivialize the experiences of those who have lost loved ones or had genuine paranormal experiences. What the hell? Who cares? What do you mean? Unethical or disrespectful to who? Grandma?
Well, I think there are a lot of YouTubers out there, shout out to our fellow YouTubers, that after a celebrity dies, this next day they post 3 a.m. seance talking to the celebrity that died.
Really?
Yeah. I just remember a very specific one, that rapper XXX Tentacion or whatever. Some guy got a lot of heat because the same day he was shot and killed, he did a 3 a.m. seance. He died in the afternoon, and then the next morning he did the 3 a.m. seance, and then he posted it 9 a.m.
Someone should have. That's funny.
It's really funny. It's like a meme.
You know what? Got to get that clout. Got to get that trending searches while you can. Okay, I don't blame him.
Hit that thumbnail up there. I forgot what his name was.
But what if someone that was took a spirit box to the Queen of England's funeral or whatever, where they all waited online for hours and hours or days or something? You got to the casket and you're just talking to her.
Yeah, and it's Camilla is a whore.
Camilla. The next tool to communicate with ghosts or detect ghosts, I guess. An EMF detector is a device that measures electromagnetic fields. Electromagnetic fields are produced by a variety of sources, including power lines, electrical appliances, and electronic devices. Some people believe that paranormal entities such as ghosts or spirits can also generate electromagnetic fields, and therefore EMF detectors are sometimes used in ghost hunting or paranormal investigations.
It's interesting because this is the main way that their spirits are supposed to be able to communicate through electrical currents, which is interesting because you can't really see it to the naked eye.
EMF detectors can either be handheld or stationary. Perfect, so we can go on the move. And they work by detecting changes in the surrounding electromagnetic fields. They typically use a sensor to detect the strength and frequency of the electromagnetic waves and convert this information into a readable form, such as a light or sound signal.
Yeah, so oftentimes you'll use an EMF detector with an EVP, a electronic voice recorder. We have a thing on EVPs in a bit, but you use them together so you can detect the ghosts and then you can talk to the ghosts.
Cool. And EMF detectors can be sensitive to different frequencies of electromagnetic radiation, and some models may be more sensitive to certain types of electromagnetic radiation than others.
Like, have you ever walked in a basement and just felt really weird, or a room and you just felt really off?
Yeah.
That could be a ghost's like electromagnetic field, if that makes sense. Like, I've walked into a basement before of like a place that was real sketchy, and I was like, oh, I don't like this place. Yeah, and so in theory, I think what they're trying to kind of get to is that this electromagnetic field is the ghost itself, and when you walk into that space, you feel it. And like, I've literally felt, no cap, learned that the other week.
Ooh.
No cap, like I wanted to leave because of how spooky it is.
Like
to just feel uneasy.
Energy?
Yeah.
Is it energy? Is
I
that
don't
what
know. Well, it's like static electricity
because,
almost.
right, energy can't be destroyed or created or something?
No, it can't be.
What?
No, it can't.
Can't?
No, it cannot be destroyed or created.
So, like, if someone dies, do they still emit energy?
Well, that's a whole different soul story.
Yeah, that's true. Too
That's
philosophical. But I guess that's like the theory. Like, I feel like you feel energy. Like, oh, the energy in this room feels good. You know, like.
Yeah, it's like if I punch you, if I go pew, and you go into your arm.
What?
Like the energy continues.
Oh, nice. Electronic voice phenomenon recorder is a device used in paranormal investigations to try to capture audio recordings of ghosts or other paranormal entities like demons.
So it's really interesting. The most popular version of an EVP recorder is like this 90s Samsung really crappy recorder. And if you look on eBay, they're like thousands of dollars.
Because they're good?
Like I forget, Samsung made them in the 90s and they weren't very good. But then the whole paranormal scene picked up on this one recorder is really good at picking up ghosts. Google it, like best EVP recorder.
I want one.
And
but
you
it's thousands.
know they're like thousands of bucks, and they're like
unless
90s
you get it,
tech.
Unless you get them at the Salvation Army, or you find one in Grandma's attic. Panasonic RRDR60 has been given legendary EVP status.
Go to eBay and look up Panasonic.
$5,000.
Yeah, and they were shitty recorders when they first came out. It's like
I want one
90s
for
technology.
not that much money. I want them to remake them for. That's a good Panasonic. Is that still a company?
Yeah, if we want to do
a cauldron, hair dryers or blow dryers or
cauldron convos, Panasonic little.
Oh, I just meant Panasonic working with like any like Halloweeny, like Stranger Things or something. I don't know.
Spirit of Halloween, the costume store.
I don't know if they do many collabs that big, but
yeah, soon they're going to be opening up one of those in the Credit Suisse headquarters.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
This is a good one. Very good. There are these podcasters called the Astonishing Legends guys, and I trust them because they do their research. Their whole shtick is they went to this house, the Sally House. It's in Iowa or Kansas, and it's very, very haunted. And they did an EVP recording, and it freaked them out.
Really?
To the point where they had to leave.
And they're not paranormal people?
They're pretty skeptics.
Whoa.
They're skeptics. And
I love that when people are skeptics and then they turn not
get
skeptic.
A little spooky dooky. I would get freaking scared if I was like, what color are my underwear? And it goes, green. That's what it's like.
How big's my penis? 1 inch. EVP recorders typically use digital audio recording technology to capture audio, and they may have features such as noise reduction, voice activation, and multiple microphones to even enhance the quality of the recording. I'm sure the Panasonic one does not have this, but for some reason, it's an icon.
It's the holy grail.
It is. The idea behind EVP recording is that ghosts or spirits may be able to communicate through sound waves in ways that are not audible to the human ear. EVP recorders may be able to pick up sounds or voices that are not heard at the time of recording, but are only discovered later upon analysis of the recording. It's also interesting that like nearly 50% believe in ghosts in like some way or whatever. But like, how often do you think people are looking for ghosts?
Not very.
Never. And how many people do you think have used these tools? Like
dozens.
2% of the population?
Dozens yeah.
Like, very, very small amount.
I realize dozens isn't a good answer.
Dozens of what?
I don't
Eggs?
know what I was thinking of.
Okay. I love how whenever you think of dozen, you think of eggs. You know? Like, why can't anything else come? Don't sodas come in dozen sometimes? Like, why eggs? I guess you get the 36. You could get the large. You could get the brown. There's so many options. For example, I wonder if they surveyed 100 people. Let's just say, okay, fine, 1,000 people in America, whether they believe in ghosts or not, whatever. Then take them to a haunted thing. give them an EVP, give them whatever the other ones are called that I forgot already, ghost box, spirit box, whatever, and then do the survey.
Yeah.
Infrared cameras, also known as thermal imaging cameras, are sometimes used in paranormal investigation as a tool to detect the ghostly activity, and these cameras work by detecting differences in temperature in the environment and can provide a visual representation of these temperature variations.
Both hotter and colder.
And the theory behind using infrared cameras to detect ghosts is that some paranormal entities may be able to manifest as cold spots or areas of cooler temperature, or conversely as hot spots or areas of warmer temperature. This temperature variation can potentially be captured on an infrared camera and is used as evidence of paranormal activity. You see on those shows, like those Ghost Adventures or Hunters or whatever shows,
Ghost
how
Adventures.
Sometimes like they're in a certain area and they're like, oh, this area's colder.
I felt a cold spot before, but it could have been a draft, to be honest with you.
It's hard to detect.
I don't know.
Motion detectors are often also used by paranormal investigators.
Oftentimes, ghosts will pop up as orbs or shadows. There's a lot of compelling videos out there. But, I mean, so dust particles are also orbs.
We're going to watch a few videos, proof of ghosts, on YouTube, which obviously can be manipulated. People can,
I don't trust videos.
I was on a Reddit page and I found people that don't actually believe in ghosts really, but these are the most compelling videos that they have seen that made them think, maybe. Are the Gettysburg ghosts real? Okay, so you see that?
Oh, jeez.
So this video is from a family that was just on vacation. See them?
Yeah, that's scary.
And so
no me gusta.
This is an old camera, and at the time, could they have made this? So that's just one example, which, I mean, pretty cool. Pretty compelling, I would say. And this one is so random. This guy linked this video in this Reddit thing, and the video only has like, how many views does this have? It has 3,400 views, but it uploaded 6 years ago. It's called The Headless Ghost of Iraq. It's a 4 minute 17 second video, and here at 2 minutes and 10 seconds, you could see the headless man walking.
Oh, Jesus, Jones.
Does that scare you? And it's just like this random guy. He comes out of thin air.
Oh my God.
So, isn't that compelling?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
I don't do like it.
Discussion. Do you believe in ghosts? After this,
yes and no.
Yeah.
I think I've certainly felt, heard, seen, smelled.
Smelled.
Grandma's dress. Things that I can't explain.
Yes.
But I can't explain it. Whether or not that's a ghost, I don't know. What about you?
So I think I believe in ghosts, but I'm someone that has always been like trying to talk to them and they don't talk to me. So I don't know if I believe in ghosts. Maybe I need to get some equipment and test it out. I don't not believe in ghosts. I could be easily convinced that there's a ghost, but I've never had like a personal something happen to me that I was like, yep, they're real, 100%. But leads me to the next question. Do we think only certain people can see or hear ghosts? So like maybe that's why I can't.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe certain people can see or hear ghosts, and maybe that's why a lot of people haven't. And if the government knew ghosts were real, would they really tell us? Do you think?
Probably not. They'd probably use them.
Because that would make so many. Well, first of all, certain people, like I don't know, businesses would go down, right?
What businesses?
I don't know. Okay, and does everyone become a ghost, or how sometimes people say like it's just the ghost? It's
like a traumatic event,
or the ghosts that are lingering on Earth, like that. What's that girl? Jennifer Love Hewitt or something? Is that her name? The actress who's in that show.
They have unfinished business.
Yeah, the Ghost Whisperer, I think, is what it's called. She like helps ghosts pass through and go through the light because they're there for unfinished business and they don't feel like they can move on to the next life, so that's why they're lingering. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Leave a comment whether or not you believe in ghosts, and I'll see you guys next time here on Cauldron Combos.
Peace.
Bye.
And love.